is zo de enige dat...
Hilarisch.
Yes. You hear me?
Yes.
How are you? My name is Ruud van Gessel, and I'm so happy that you are all here on the 5th edition of the MOJO Conference. And this edition is especially about creative business, how to make money or how to get your ideas with mobiles, online, how to make money. It's the future. Eh? Keep in mind that I saw 2 days ago a message in a newspaper that by the end of this year in India, the whole country has a 100% 5G. That's amazing. By the end of this year. So on the 1st of January, all people in India have 5G. That's the world we are living in. And that's the world that's constantly changing. And I'm proud that you are our guests because you, in this audience, are the talents and the best ones for the future. So keep that in mind. And we have a wonderful program that will be hosted by Cesar Majorana and Matthias Surbron. May you have a big applause.
Also, I'm really thinking about moving to India now because I never have 5G at my parents' place, and apparently there it's everywhere. Welcome to the 5th edition of the MOJO Conference. We're delving into the world of storytelling, we're delving into the world of digital media, the way that we can create worlds, shape worlds with mobile smartphones, but in the basic, that also, that notion of what a mobile smartphone is also changed. I own a mobile smartphone in the metaverse right now, which is me looking through VR glasses and then checking my hand, and it's way cooler than my real iPhone, basically. All of that, I'll be helping you through the day here, and next to me is my favorite casting director from Belgium, Matthias.
Hi all. Yeah, I'm glad that we will talk about innovation, phones, everything that is the future actually, and that makes us do things we can't even imagine. So I'm really happy to talk you through the day together with Cesar.
Great. And then your experience is more in the film world.
Exactly.
You've been, tease us a little, what are the big productions you've had a hand in?
The last one is just came out in Holland, is Rebel, the new movie of Adil and Bilal. Was back in the days, Patser, Gangsta, and all these things. So I did quite a lot of productions and casting there, the casting directing of a lot of international series and movies. So a lot of images came through my eyes. So
Good.
That's what I'm working.
And tease us a little more. What is the budget for a film like Rebel? What kind of money does
Well,
that
if
cost?
you have to compare, Rebel is about 8 million, but the production value is about 50, 75 something, versus Bad Boys was about 100 million. So that is the budget we talk about if you speak about Hollywood versus Belgium, Holland.
Wow.
Like a big gap.
So that is your regular job. My regular job is I write about media. I write it weekly for VPRO-gids. I have a column there about living on and with the internet. And I recently finished my master's. Hey. Okay, today, few things that we have going on. First of all, we're gonna delve into podcasts.
Exactly.
Gonna get a quick rundown of making a podcast in this day and age, and I think also using mobile devices for it.
Exactly.
Then there's XR technology. I think you know more about that.
Well, you know the VR you were talking about. It's everything that combines all the futuristic stuff, the metaverse, all the things we're heading to, and they're developing. It's all the innovational technologies that
probably around immersion then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, XR thing. I just learned a new thing. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then we also get a sneak peek from another thing from Belgium, which is Afro-Belg.
Yeah,
TikTok sensation, you told me.
Yeah, it's a guy who speaks about how people with a little mindset from not too open, not worldwide. They
I know
talk
a few of those.
Yeah, we know those. How they look at black people and the way he experiences it. So it's a really funny guy. He's a dancer. He's like a multi-talent, and he will talk about a series he has made, his first season. There will be a second one, but he will explain later.
Okay, good.
And the way he financed it, and
Right,
how
from
he came
TikTok
up.
success to TV, hopefully success as well.
I hope.
Before all of that, we're listening to an expert in the field of NFTs. I'm asking you maybe to introduce him a little as well.
We have, this guy, he runs a lot of events. He runs NFTs. He's been working in the music industry for as long as I know him, 6 years.
Yeah.
He will explain it himself. Please give a big applause for Nicolas Grootjans.
Nicolas.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Hello. First of all, the whole presentation I actually prepared it in Dutch, but they just told me 5 minutes ago I had to do it in English. So if I have some troubles with finding my words, my apologies for it. So I'm Nicolas. Nicolas is my nickname that online I'm mostly known for. So Nicolas Grootjans is my real name. Nicolas is where in the event industry and music world, everyone knows me as Nicolas. I've worked with quite some clients like Live Nation, Top Notch, Boiler Room, Tomorrowland, Netsky, Bazaar, Charlotte Witte, and Lost Frequencies. Mostly, I work as marketing manager, communication, and most of the time also the creative side of it. Not really like the advertisement and the ads around it, but more like the concepts and everything behind it, so that these artists and those festivals stand out. That they sell tickets because they stand out with a creative concept of a cool ID. Yeah. Just gonna, for myself, get a follow. This is a code that I really believe in for several years. In this digital age, connection has become one of the most valuable resources. Before COVID, this was also something that I told a lot of people, that connection between people became more and more important. During COVID, it became clear that it is very important, and after COVID, it was not even a discussion anymore. Now, I'm going to talk about NFTs in the music industry. Why in the music industry? Because there are a lot of issues currently in the music industry that could easily be solved with NFTs. Now, videos, movies, they are not really new. They exist already for more than 100 years. We've been going to the movie theaters since 19th century, I think. And since then, video has adapted itself to, through time. Imagine how many screens we had since the 19th century. We had our, literally the big TV screens that you had at your grandmother's house. And today, we have our smartphones where we watch movies, we watch TikToks, we watch YouTube videos. And also we have our computer screens. When we go to the train station, you see advertising on screens, everything is on screens. And video has really adapted itself to these screens until now. But I'm not going to talk about TikToks and YouTube videos, although they are getting there to be seen as real movies. But I'm really going to talk about the films. And a question that a podcaster asked was, why don't they make movies like they used to? He said that back in the 90s, we had movies like Shawshank Redemption. We had Shawshank Redemption, we had Perfection. Really movies that, to this day, still are with us and be seen as great movies. And right now, he said, the movies that I see on Netflix, and I'm scrolling through my streaming service, are never of that, they don't interest me enough. They're not standing out from all the other movies. And Matt Damon actually replied to that. Yeah, it's true. And the main reason is because the lack of DVD sales. The lack of DVD sales had as consequence that the sales that movie companies and the movie itself made were actually depending on the movie theater sales. Because when a movie comes out, we have two, two stadias, two stadias where the big money is made. The moment that a movie comes out, so when it comes in the movie theaters, and then afterwards when it's sold on DVD. Now, with the lack of the sales of this DVD, this means that the whole financial, the whole revenue that they make will be placed on the movie theaters. Now, Matt Damon himself, he went to the studio and he asked him, I want to make this movie. And there they explained to him that for making that movie itself, we need a budget of 25 million. On top of that, are posters and advertising, another 25 million. And then you have distribution. And there you have to split it. That means that in total, he had to make $100 million before he made $1 of profit. So that's a risky bet. If you have a movie idea, you think it's really great, you have to already make $100 million before you make $1 of it. And that's the main reason why today studios don't take that risk. They go for concepts that are already proven that they work. The mainstream Hollywood movies that you see, or another Fast and the Furious, yeah, it worked before, so let's just try it again with similar budgets. Maybe we make the same kind of money. Now, this has become an issue. Another issue that we also have seen is that we don't go that often to the movie theaters anymore. Before COVID, it slowed a little bit down. During COVID, it was dead. And now after COVID, it's still not really there, not enough to make the money that DVDs were, when DVDs were there. Also, how we watch movies is completely different with 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we went to the movie theaters with friends, family, or alone, I don't know, but it was an experience to go there. You already, most of the time, you knew what movie you wanted to watch, so you went there, bought a ticket, and you watched the movie, you had a great time. Today, most of the time when you watch a movie, we do it alone. We are on our screens, on our laptop, on our tablets, on our phone, watching Netflix. And the way we experience movies is also completely different. Notice how fast you click on a Netflix movie, and after 10 minutes, you're like, nah, not for me. But back in the days, it wasn't possible. Now, it's also not really possible. If you go to the movie theaters, you're sitting there, you can't really go away and do another movie. And that behavior has also an influence on the connection that is being made between people, community, fans who want to watch a movie and the makers of it. Now, NFTs. You might have heard about Beeple. Beeple sold his artwork for $69 million. The pixelated images of CryptoPunks and even the Bored Apes had some media coverage over the past 2 years. And there are a lot of videos online that you can find about NFTs, and this is only really like a small portion of what possibilities there are with NFTs. I'm going to use an analogy to explain what NFTs are that for me personally made it clear. In between this and a few years, I want to buy my own place. Meaning that I found a perfect location, hopefully with a good view, always sunny. And the moment that I want to do that, I don't know if it's in the Netherlands also like that, but in Belgium, I have to pass by the notary's office. There, I sign all the legal documents, and he will make sure that that property becomes mine. Now, at our city town hall, there is actually a ledger. Literally, a document where it says, Nikos owns that square meters at that location with these coordinates. And when I become the owner of a house, that will be added, Nicolas owns this place. Now, what if I buy another place? Then, once again, go to the notary's office. There, they make sure that the council, like the city town hall, knows about it, and they write it up in their logbook, in their ledger. The moment I decide to sell that second house, what happens then? It will be removed of the ledger that I know that house, and it will go to the new buyers. But the thing is, when can I say that I own a house? Not because I built it with my bare hands, that doesn't matter. Not because I paid for it. The only reason that I can say that I own that house is because it's written down in a ledger at your city hall. That's the only thing that counts. I can even have my name on the letterbox saying it, but that doesn't matter. The real reason why that is my place is because the ledger says Nicolas owns that square meter at that place. And if someone, sorry. Yeah, the only reason I can call that house mine is because it's written in a ledger. Now, imagine someone at the city hall or the clerk screwed it up, and instead of 400 square meters, they wrote 40 square meters. They just forgot a zero. There is no way for me to say that this is wrong because we, as a convention, decided that that ledger is the correct thing. And that's a big issue currently in government-wise how things are managed. Now, the thing is that that ledger is actually very similar to the blockchain. That's a term that you probably already heard of it, but it's basically that. It's just a ledger that states who owns what. But the big difference is that that ledger is maintained by thousands of people. Thousands of people have an exact copy of that same ledger that says that you own something. If I want to sell that house, for example, all of these copies have to be the same, saying that I own that house before I can even sell it. Now, going back to NFTs. NFTs are digital files. And on that blockchain, like the ledger, it just states what digital files I own. So instead of the houses that I bought, and where it says Nicolas owns this square meter at that place, it just simply says Nicolas owns this digital file. And remember, like I said, the only reason that I can say that house... Oh, ik heb iets fout gedaan. Oei.
These are the moments you can totally feel we're a digital media conference, right?
Okay. So, what I was saying was, remember that I said the only reason that I can call that house mine is because it's written in that ledger. And the same goes for those digital files. Everyone can say that it's theirs or whatever, but that ledger says that some person is the owner. And the big difference next to that it's spread with thousands of people that own it, that have a copy of that ledger is public. The blockchain is public and for everyone to watch. Now, one of the things that NFTs are often, they have a connection with, are collectibles. Think about the Star Wars movie. They have like those action figures. That's a collectible. And collectibles are actually very interesting, and the use cases of it with NFTs will change completely how we use collectibles and how we collect them. One of the examples that is an easy collectible item, tickets. One of the tickets of the avant-première of Pulp Fiction was auctioned for 1,500 euros. No, 150,000 euros. What is it, maybe 2 months ago? Just because it was a ticket of so many years ago, the avant-première of Pulp Fiction. That became a collectible item. Now, tickets are already digital. Most of the time when we buy a festival ticket or something like that, it's a PDF document, meaning that you can print it out as many times as you want. You won't get in with all those copies, but you have those copies. Back in the days, you had one ticket. That way, it was easily to prove that you had that one ticket and it was real. But with NFTs, you can also prove that you have a real ticket, and you can use it as a collectible. You can print it out as much as you want, but on the blockchain, it will still say that this person is the owner. On top of that, a cool thing is owning pieces of a movie, characters, locations, scenes, maybe even the way some things are filmed. An example from that is the vault of CNN. What do? They sell the historic moments, some historical moments that you can buy that for you are important. For example, the fall of the Berlin Wall was an NFT that you can buy. If you're a fan of John Lennon and Yoko interview, also one that was sold. And on top of that, the death of Elvis, the news press coverage about it, was also sold. One of the CNN vaults, one of the CNN coverage that I bought was the coverage about on my birthday. Now, next to that, those collectibles can also function as a key. What do I mean with a key? Well, owning that collectible or a collectible about a movie or a moment can give you access to, for example, a Discord. Discord is like the Slack, but the cooler version, or WhatsApp, or I don't know what you guys use. And what you, for example, could do is, when a movie production is already busy, you could have access to a Slack with the actors or with the directors, the people who are actually deciding what is happening, and talk with them, ask them questions about the movie that you are a fan of, because you want to collect, you have a collectible item about a movie, so obviously you're a fan. It can also give you voting power. We know that we can prove who owns an NFT, so if I have 3 NFTs, it's easily for me that I can vote 3 times on something, meaning that I get voting power in things like how a scene could end, but also where the avant-premiere would happen. Those are cool things. Oh, fuck. Normally I have a meeting at 10:30, so every morning at 10:30 I had to have a Zoom meeting. And this voting power is actually very interesting for people who are diehard fans and who want to leave a mark on a movie that they are a fan of. Access. Next to having a key, it can also work as an access token. I mentioned the avant-premiere. How cool would it be if your favorite movie, I don't know, with Leonardo DiCaprio or the last movie with Harry Styles, that you can be at the avant-premiere because you have one of the collectibles of that movie. And the cool thing about that idea is that you can make it even more interesting. For example, saying that for the next Star Wars movie, you have to have all the tickets of the previous Star Wars movie, meaning that you should have went to all the movie theaters that showed all the previous Star Wars to even access the avant-premiere of the next one. And those collectibles can actually also work as promotion. Deadpool 2, for example, used NFTs to promote their movie. Everyone who bought a ticket at certain theaters got an NFT for free, and that NFT itself had an image, the poster of the movie created by a different artist. And that itself caused that on social media, people started posting what they got as a poster. That was free promotion for the movie that they got. Once again, all these previous things that I mentioned, if you think about it, there is one red line between them, that there is connection created. We actually create connection between people that wasn't there before. Other fans get to meet each other because they all went to the avant-premiere because they all had a collectible. In the Discord chats, all the people that had that one collectible met each other, started talking with each other. And once again, a connection is created around a similar belief or like a shared belief or a shared experience. So I talked about the fact that the connection was a little bit lost with the current movie industry with just going to the movie theaters. So that problem could already have some solutions with NFTs. Next to that, we have the financial side. Matt Damon that didn't do his movie because it was just too expensive. Well, NFTs can also help in there. I mentioned those collectible items. Well, I didn't say how you could get them, actually. You can buy them, but you could also earn them. I mentioned that you had to have all the previous Star Wars movie tickets. Well, imagine that you weren't there. So how do you get that movie ticket? Well, someone else did go to the first Star Wars movie back in the days, and he wants to sell it to you. Oh, great, awesome. The cool thing about NFTs is that they are codable programmable, meaning that you can add code to it and you can work and build on it. For example, royalties. Every time those tickets get sold to someone else because they want to go to that movie and they didn't buy a ticket, you can add a royalty percentage that automatically will be sent to you. Most of the time it's 10%, but when you sell 10,000 tickets and they get traded all over the world, those 10% actually make a really good income. One of the coolest examples is Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis that created Stoner Cats. What is actually cooler about this animated series is that before the animated series even existed, they sold the cats that were going to play in the movie. In 30 minutes, they made $8.5 million. They sold out in 30 minutes, and they had the funding to create a whole movie series around Stoner Cats. This is something that doesn't happen in the current film industry, or not a lot. We have Kickstarter and stuff like that, but it's hard. It's hard to find people who want to invest in your movies. They had, with just them being itself, funded the whole project without having actually created something except for the cats. And this is something very unique that NFTs can also bring to the table. These cats itself also had some extras on top of it. For example, if you had some of the special cats, you actually had meetings with screenwriters. You could decide about how the next episode will look like. And another example was that, what was it again? Yeah, like 20 of those cats gave you sponsor places. So your logo of your message will be at the end of the movie. But those cats were $750 a cat. That seems a lot. But if you think about it, actually it isn't. The prices that brands pay to get their small logo on a poster of a festival is insane. We don't talk about 100,000, we speak easily over a million with the biggest festivals, so that their logo can be on top of it. Then that $750 is nothing to be in an animated series of Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. So it's just putting it in perspective with what you get for it if you're a fan or not. I mentioned already royalty splits. Royalty splits is something very interesting to see because if you release a song, for example, on Spotify or whatever streaming service, or the legal papers and everything around it, just only for the royalties, is insane. It's really a lot of work to pay out royalties to artists. With NFTs, it's literally 3 lines of code, and it's done. Another issue that has a financial consequences on the film industry. What is it? Piraterij is een misdrijf. Piracy is a crime. Was an ad that went on every movie for years. And the idea that people just sell merchandising, posters, everything around the movie, and the movie itself could just be watched online for free. That part from online on free, I'm going to come back to that, but the old merch and everything around it, those collectibles that I just mentioned are verifiable that they are real. How many times that people are scammed online, or just, that they've been told that this is the real ring that has been used in the Lord of the Rings, and afterwards they're like, no, it's made in China. That happens a lot, actually. And this is something that won't happen, and again, with NFT, and just because of the verifiable concept of blockchain. Why I mentioned that I will come back to the free movie is because this is one of the main reasons I believe that NFTs will reshape and completely change the movie industry, is because of the freemium concept that the game industry made the biggest industry currently, except for the content industry, one of the biggest industries. The concept of freemium is basically you get the game for free. Here, have it. And when you're playing it, at some point, you'll want to have something extra because you're really convinced, and you're going to buy something from it. It can be a Candy Crush that you buy some extra tokens, but it can also be in Call of Duty that there's some maps blocked. In Fortnite there are skins, but that's a big business. And the main reason why it works is because people who are not convinced to buy the game in the first place because it costs money, they just don't play it. They will never spend money on it. But the people who actually started playing it and then become convinced and then became a real fan are actually potential buyers, or potential investors, people that actually will spend money on it. And that's something that the game industry really got a hang of it. And the music industry is currently phasing to that. The music industry has already embraced NFTs way more than the film industry. And what is happening right now is that you have a layer. you have a layer like Spotify and everything around it, and that will change like more to free probably. And then on top of it, for the fans, people who like to collect. Stupid example, but that it's currently hype again, myself included, buying LPs, vinyls. Like, I have a huge collection of vinyls, and the main reason is because I want to have that artist's vinyl, because I like the artist, and I just want to have it, and I want to put it on when I want. But I could also easily do that with my Apple Music or Spotify. So the idea behind it, that buying those collectibles, is actually not that strange. The only difference that those vinyls are something physical, but that doesn't mean that those collectibles aren't real. Now, to end this whole thing on information, I also wanted to talk about tools that already exist to create actually this. Because I talked about big movies, but for independent music creators, indies, you want to start a concept and you have a really cool idea, this is also possible. It doesn't mean that you have to be Ashton Kutcher or Mila Kunis to get those fundings. If you have a really cool idea and people learn about your idea and you're like, oh yeah, I'm interested, they're going to easily give you money if you promise them something in return. And if that doesn't happen, then there is again a shift. Just making sure that you're online and you have a community, you have a connection, then automatically this comes out of it. One of the tools, of course, the marketplaces. I talked about collectibles that were sold and everything around it. There you need marketplaces for. The thing is that all of these marketplaces that are here, OpenSea, Rarible, LooksRare, Nifty Gateway, basically the only thing that they do is they look at the blockchain, see who has it, and they can sell it. So all these platforms actually have the same stuff on it. And it makes it so cool that other platforms have some cool other features, but platform-wise, it's basically the same thing. On eBay, if you have something there, and on Amazon you have another product, yeah, they don't come from the same supplier. So that's the whole big thing with blockchain, it all comes from the same source. Get protocol is something pretty cool because they are reinventing ticketing. Currently, tickets are a main issue in the event industry, that fees are way too high. Also not clear why you have to pay like 10 euros on a ticket. Like, that doesn't seem really fair. That's something that they counterblock, but also fake tickets. I told you about previously that collectible tickets basically is the same with your real tickets. Because if I print out my ticket or I sell my ticket online, I can sell it to anyone again and again and again, and there's no way I can prove to someone that I didn't already use it at a festival. Get Protocol creates NFTs for tickets, and they're actually based in Amsterdam, I just realized, and it's completely free. POAP is a very cool one, proof of attendance protocol, meaning that you can create a QR code that people can scan and they get an NFT, just to prove that they were there. But it also works with a code. So like, for example, you're hosting, you're doing a podcast, a live podcast. You can say, oh, this is the code. Everyone fill it in your app, and you get an NFT. So it doesn't even have to be in person. Imagine an avant-premiere, or even at the cinema theaters, you can just scan the code, and you have something that says, oh, you were here. Giving you then access to the Discord, or maybe even the avant-premiere of the next Star Wars. And basically, the choice is yours. If you want to start creating it, why is the choice yours? Because if you start now, the choice is yours. Start now, or catch up in 2 years when everyone else will start doing it. Thank you.
Wow. I feel like another round of applause is in place because he just 5 minutes before doing this talk here that it was supposed to be in English. So another round of applause, please. I'm giving you this seat so you can sit down. We're at a point right now. Yeah, let's take it as well. We're at a point right now where we can ask you questions. And probably like, first thing I want to know of the audience here is who is already dealing with NFTs or something in the digital space, and like cryptocurrency, NFTs? Anyone? Nobody. Okay, so there was a lot to learn for people here today.
Actually, it was the main reason I didn't mention cryptocurrencies on it.
Why?
Because people tend to have bad feeling when they talk about cryptocurrencies, and also like the crypto boys and stuff like that. Also, I don't agree with it, but it's a general thing that people already think of. Oh yeah, crypto. Yeah, that's something above my bed. So, and NFTs have everything to do with crypto, but the main concept and the technology behind it are completely different than the whole crypto scene and the crypto stuff around it. So that's why I really focused on not mentioning crypto unless I couldn't else do it.
I mean, I'm thinking of like you being at a birthday and telling people you work in the NFT space, and probably the first question is, are you a millionaire yet? And do you own a Lamborghini? Do you have a nice boat?
No, yeah. I made my fair load of money because I also am a digital creator. So I sold back in the days, like I'm talking 3 years ago, before Beeple and everything. I had already my stuff on it, and they sold during the hype very well. So that I made good of money of it. But currently, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually investing in music NFTs right now, but not as myself. But I created actually a label, a fund around it. That big companies, Sony Music, Warner, they give us now money to do that, to fund artists, to start with music NFTs, to do research around NFTs for music industry.
You name it a hype. Are we already over the hype, or will it?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's linked to hype around it. With people selling 69 million, you can imagine how many people are like, oh my God, I want to do that too. I want to also sell something for 69 million. And they went there for a quick buck to earn. And that hype is already past. But the thing is that the sales and how NFTs are being used is still getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The opportunities, mainly the usage of the technology, is getting more and more advanced, and more cool stuff can be created with it. But once again, it's linked to crypto. So right now, crypto is, for example, down. So that eventually means that buying NFTs, although it can also be done right now in dollars and euros, it's less than normally. But if you look at the overall, so taking that into account, it's still skyrocketing. Of course. Because the big companies actually started to realize that this is something really innovative. The fact that We With Tomorrowland really started doing it, in fact, Coachella started doing it, Sony Music Springs is on the bus, the big gaming companies are on it, Warner Bros. Is on it. The fact that those people, and Gary Vee, people that already believed in the internet when they called the internet a scam, the fact that all of those people are like, this is really a thing that people should watch and know about, is for me also a trigger that this is going to be even bigger than now. We're really here when in a few years we'll be way farther.
Good. Good. Audience questions. I have one of my own first, perhaps, but I see when they're in the back, I'll run towards you. Okay. No, Matthias, I'm going to make you run, man. Go for it. Okay, we're timing in. Go.
Duurt lang.
And then we have Daphne Schippers. Like, okay, let me go.
So how do you get an NFT? Because if you buy like a house, you get your service number and everything. It's not just on your name. It's on your, like, let's say, government account, basically. But do you need an account for an NFT, or do you scan it and get it via mail? Or
that's actually a good question. How it works is actually, instead of my name, like City Council, it says Nicolas Grootjans owns that. On a blockchain, we use addresses, like a street address. It's very, very similar, I just realized. And an address can just be created online. You have to download a wallet to own something. It's like an app. You have different kind of wallets, but they all do actually the same thing. And you click create, and you have a wallet. And in the wallet is what you own, basically. So that it literally what it does is it reads on the ledger, what does this address owns? And you have a password that is created for you. You have to keep it secret, of course. And it's that easy. It's really easy to create a wallet. But understanding what blockchain is, if you understand what blockchain is, just the ledger, how it works, then creating a wallet and everything around is not hard. It's really easy to do. The hardest part for people to get started with it or to discover it is understanding how that blockchain stuff works and what it actually is and what an address is. But if you know how the ledger is simply noting who owns what, creating a wallet is downloading MetaMask and you have a wallet.
Okay, so downloading MetaMask? I
MetaMask
need
is
practical
an example.
tips. I want to write it down right now. I want to become a millionaire.
MetaMask is the biggest wallet that most of the people use. I think if you Google just crypto wallets, it's probably one of the first terms that comes up. It's a logo of a fox, so that's recognizable.
Okay, logo of a fox, MetaMask. I'm looking for that. I have a follow-up question to that as well, because are there cheap NFTs? It feels like whenever I see something about NFTs, it's always like it's been sold for $1 million there, sold for $1 million there. But, can I buy an NFT? I'm not a rich guy like you are.
No, yeah, definitely. Currently, even there is a trend with creators, like real digital artists, that they just give away their NFTs. They're like, oh, who wants an NFT? And they send them over to the wallets. Because the idea of the royalties is the interesting part. Imagine that you send 50 NFTs to 50 different people, and at some day you get more famous as an artist, those NFTs become valuable. And then you sell an NFT, you get still a 10% of it. So giving it away free actually made you money. So it actually happens. There are a lot of free NFTs. The POAPs, for example, like the proof of attendance protocol, is literally scanning a QR code, and you get an NFT that says you were here. So free NFTs are definitely there. The press coverage, of course, are mostly on the big sales, of course, because that's interesting for people to know.
Yeah. All right. Next audience question. Where can I make Matthias run to? Yes, please, far away. Let's go. There we go. Microphone is also important for the live stream, because there's a live stream audience. So
Zou
of
jij
course
het
they wanna hear
alsjeblieft
you.
voor onze studenten en eigenlijk stiekem ook voor mezelf nog eens kunnen uitleggen in het Nederlands wat nou precies een NFT is, alsjeblieft?
In het Nederlands?
Ja.
Oké, dus...
Dit wilde je de hele dag al doen.
ja, eigenlijk, het is gewoon eigenlijk... Voor mij is als je een huis koopt, simpelweg, dan komt er in je stadhuis... Ik weet niet wat dan in het Nederlands ook een term is, een stadhuis?
Absoluut, ja,
Oké.
gemeente.
Ja, maar pinnen en zo, bankkaart. Dan gaat er gewoon eigenlijk staan ergens in een databank, in een logboek, staat er eigenlijk aan, jij bent eigenaar van dat huis. Nu, in plaats van dat logboek in je stadhuis wordt bijgehouden, zijn er eigenlijk duizenden mensen die een kopie hebben van dat logboek. En in plaats van dat dat een huis is het eigenlijk een digitaal bestand. Nu, je kunt zeggen van een NFT, die afbeeldingen, die CryptoPunks, ik kan ook gewoon een afbeelding opslaan, dan heb ik dat ook. Maar dat is hetzelfde idee van, dat huis is niet van mij, tenzij dat in dat logboek staat. En omdat dat puur en alleen een consensus is dat wat er in dat logboek staat de waarheid is, we gaan ervan uit dat het stadhuis dat bewaart, dus dat zal wel juist zijn, is hetzelfde eigenlijk met die NFT's. Dus dat is eigenlijk het enige dat eigenlijk doet, dat is eigenlijk gewoon wat dat je eigenlijk behoudt. Nu, ik sta er wel bij stil dat ik niet heb uitgelegd wat non-fungible eigenlijk betekent, dus NFT, non-fungible token. Maybe I should do that in English then, or...
Go for let's first, before we delve into that, if people have questions about any of these subjects, how to download MetaMask, how to get a first NFT, that you're here around all day, right?
Probably for a few hours, because then I...
Okay, great, but we can talk to you and ask you these questions personally.
Yeah, definitely, and you can also send me a DM on Instagram, and I answer my DMs regularly, not every day, but...
Okay, great.
Just
Does that
Nico's.
answer your question a bit as well? Thanks. Great.
Someone else?
Next up, please, someone in that corner as well. Yes. Okay, Matthias, run for it. Go. Such a talent, this guy.
Hi, I'm actually curious to hear what you did with your job for Charlotte de Witte or Tomorrowland, actually.
What I did for Charlotte Witte?
Yeah, just tell what is your role exactly then with what you know.
Well, currently I'm not working. Right now I'm doing other projects than with Charlotte, but Context is our label, for example. I did all the marketing behind the artworks and stuff like that. I found the design bureau, Bureau Bosch. Next to that, Charlie is also a good friend. And for social media, for example, I created memes for her, stuff like that. I did for her, but also like the whole event side of Context in Sportpaleis and around the world, the whole marketing side of it, the visual branding, the idea of the visual branding, not the creation of itself. And next to that, that's most of the things that I do for her.
Okay, so then we have Charlotte de Witte, Lost Frequencies,
Yeah.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
all of these jobs you did, do they work with NFTs as well?
No, the NFT stuff, currently I'm doing that consultant for a few festivals, and a few artists are already starting with it, but that's something that I really dived into in my free time. And artists are catching up with it, and I do talk about it, and we are looking at how we can do it, but it's not really like the main thing that I do for them.
All right.
It will come there probably.
Good, I'll follow you for that. Also for free festival tickets, please.
I have a question myself. Will Charlotte, for example, be selling NFTs to her audience directly? Like Kanye West just dropped his last album and sold it directly towards his audience?
Yeah, that's something that could be... wait, what was the question exactly? Well, if she's
Like
doing it, or...
They are skipping the labels to
Yeah.
cut out something in the intermediary.
Exactly.
Will these artists be doing this the same thing by selling NFTs to the audience, like you have the album?
Yeah, the same thing will go like with the layer thing. The normal labels will still be there, but on top of that, there will be that NFT stuff and everything around it. And the thing is exactly that. I said it before, you have to give 50% to the distributor and 25% to this guy and this guy and this guy. And it's all managed by not the creator who actually creates the movie behind it. And the same goes with music right now. The labels take way too much money, and streaming is paying not enough money to actually survive as an artist unless you are one of the big ones. And NFTs is completely changing that because the fans that actually buy vinyls are the perfect people that also would buy a collectible NFT. And those people want to spend money on you, on your music, or on your film, or on your project. So that will exactly be changing. They will be skipping the labels, and the labels have to worry about it. I have to step into it and join them in their process of doing it. And yeah, the same thing goes for Facebook and Instagram, by the way, that don't share their revenue. 90% of all revenue come from ads, and the main reason that ads work is because the creators create content on their platform. Those platforms are now shifting over to NFTs because they already noticed that otherwise they will be skipped. Because there will be platforms that don't take 90%, they will be 10%. So that's the current paradigm shift that is happening on the internet today. Hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Someone else.
Yes.
Thank you, I don't need mic. It's okay.
Thank you.
But I'm going to rephrase your question for the live stream still, but ask it first then.
Okay, so if we are talking about the music industry, yeah, in case if you're comparing the NFT with the vinyl, then in case I have vinyl, I can use it. It is usable. Why would I have NFT instead of vinyl?
Okay,
That-
easy and obvious question.
Yeah.
Indeed, like you purchase a vinyl, you have that. You can show your friends at a listening party, like, hey, I bought this thing. I even got it signed. You paid money for that. You also pay money for an NFT, but you cannot physically hold that thing. So what do you own when you own an NFT? Good question.
Well, what you own, like the first thing that I'm going to answer is like the physical part, like really the vinyl itself. I noticed that with all the vinyls that I have, how much that I use those vinyls in comparison with how much I use my Spotify or my Apple Music, it's a big difference. I use way more the digital side. So that's just for me, but it's true. Vinyls will still be vinyls, something physical. But what you are saying, so there you're right. If you want to have the vinyl because you want to play the vinyl, just because you really like the vinyl sound, like how it scratches a little bit, then of course, yeah, it can be changed by an NFT. But the whole signing and showing it to your friends, I have them in my pocket. I can show you the music NFT that I bought. I can even show you that it was signed, because on the blockchain it said it was signed. And once again, showing to people that you have something in your hand doesn't mean that you own it. People are driving with super cool cars, saying that they're them, but they rented it, for example. The difference here is that it's provable that it's mine. So, and also that it's signed by the real artist. You can have a vinyl, and I can have a marker. I can sign your vinyls, no worries. But with NFTs, you can actually prove it that it was signed by an artist. So that makes it even superior to the vinyl.
All right.
Except for the playing part.
Question to you: are you excited now to like not buy vinyl the next time you're in a record store?
Oh no, keep buying them.
No, I think that NFT is something that we cannot understand right now. Like,
Yeah,
there's no acknowledgement of NFT industry at all.
No,
Oh,
not yet.
what do you mean in music industry?
No, I mean, I don't know anyone who owns NFT.
Oh, but that's 100% sure. That space is super early. But that's the whole thing, that why I'm eager to talk about it to people, why I find it an interesting subject to talk about, because it is so early. Imagine back in the days in the 1990s, when the internet came along, people were like, the internet is a scam, it's gonna fade over. Facebook, give it 2 years, they're not gonna make money, it's gonna be over. And this is the same stage that we are currently with NFTs. People are skeptical and understandable, but the trend and the market behind it and the big brands that are seeing it as this is going to be a big deal is the same that happened with the internet and with Facebook and with Twitter and everything that are creating a paradigm shift in the world on the internet. So that's a completely understandable statement because it is indeed so early. People start learning it now. So it will become later.
The same with crypto, right? So it's the money that I cannot
last remark, and I'm gonna clean up the chair as well because we're
Well,
over the next speaker almost.
crypto,
Go for it.
that's the reason why I didn't mention crypto during the whole thing. Crypto is similar and have the same bounds to it. And money that you can't use, that's also very abstract to say because in my wallet I have a card of Binance and I can actually buy in a night shop my cigarettes with it. I quit smoking, but I can buy a beer with it. So can't use is also really relative. It's the abstract thing of actually having it digital. That's the thing that it's understandable, hard to understand, but it is coming and it will be happening in this and 2 years. I don't say that crypto will be mainstream and be used by everyone, but NFTs will be all over the place.
There we go, and that's the last remark. Round of applause, please. Thank you. Matthias, what do you want to do? You want to take the chair or introduce the next speaker?
No, the next speaker just ran off. I don't know where he's heading. There he is.
There we are. Then I'll take the chair. You do that.
Okay. Well, the next one, we've been in a digital revolution. This guy, Tom Rumes, he knows everything about applications in your phone, digital storytelling, all these things. So the way we tell a story nowadays by the internet, he will explain you everything you need to know, which apps you need. All of this will be introduced by this guy. Give a big round of applause for Tom Rumes.
Tom.
Oh, do we have a little break for the people, or they'll just know? No. Okay. I don't know
Seating
what's
switch?
happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.